What is your name and where are you from?
So my name is Ali Scotton. I'm from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
And how did you originally hear about my website?
So I just came across your videos on YouTube, just searching for piano tutorials, and then ended up coming to your website and just loving the archives and everything that was available there.
Good. What did you like most about learning from my method?
It just the way that you don't have to you don't have to read music. It's just very intuitive, and it just really clicked for me.
Great. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
So a lot of the other ones, you just have to look at the person's hands. Um, and so, that's you got to slow down the video and just watch the person's hands. Whereas you can see your hands, but also you got the notes written down in a very easy visual experience.
Good. And I feel like I like to teach other things with every song. Like you were
Yeah.
saying, you take something you learn in one song, take it to the next one. So I feel like there's always something in there in these songs, maybe many things where if you learn this, you can take it with you other places. Then you start really becoming a musician rather than some person who can just play a couple of songs on piano. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
20.
Yes, that's my highest score yet.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to give myself a 9 point something because I always want to feel like I can get better. There's always room to get better,
it's
you
always
know.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you like, by the way, have you seen my new, what I've been doing for the last, it hasn't been a year yet, but with the kind of the staff behind the notes, have you seen that yet?
Uh, I'm not
Probably not.
sure.
If
Yeah.
you're not sure, you haven't seen it yet, but it's like the same old way I've always written, but I lightly have behind a staff where the notes would go if you were reading music, and the music readers love it, and the people that don't need it anyway, they don't care. So it's kind of a little improvement I've
Oh,
made on that.
that's great.
So would you recommend a family member or a friend to my lessons, and if so, why?
Yeah, I recommend it to everybody because it's just like I said, people are always coming up to me after performances asking me how I get to make the sounds, how the song sounds like with the record, and how they can get that way. And I always recommend a program because it just it's so accessible for people, and it's really high quality.
I'm gonna throw one in here. I just thought of Allie. When you're playing and you just want, and the crowd's going, and you want to play something that's really gonna put them over the edge, what song do you go to?
I usually go to Great Balls of Fire.
Yes. All right. Great.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Some
People love it,
people.
even though it's so easy. People love it when you do the sweep. That's like the
Yes,
easiest
I
part of
know
this.
it.
You just People just go crazy.
I know it. Yeah. You probably stopped short of setting the piano on fire, but yeah, the
Yeah,
glissando, sure. And those, you ever tore up your hand doing those? When I was a kid,
yeah,
I learned how to do it, and I did it so much one day, and I just ruined my hand, and I never have liked them since.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
they're fun. Um, do you? That's those are the questions. Do you have anything you want to ask me, or anything I can do for you today?
No, I just wanted to get a chance to actually talk to you and thank you for everything you did. Like I mentioned in my review, it was life-changing for me. It gave me the opportunity to really expand my repertoire and my performance and get out there and start a new phase of my life. So just
Yes.
really,
Now
really thank you
I'm
for all you've
remembering
done.
I'm remembering your review. I have all these people that I'm trying to keep straight, but now I'm remembering your
Yeah,
particular review. Life changing. I love hearing that. Life changing in the positive. Music. Like I can't imagine what my life would be without music. I would be on the corner somewhere, with a cup. But
yeah,
it's been a great ride. So
yeah.
thank you for doing this again. I'm going to have my son send you an email right after this. It's going to have a Google review link, and it's supposed
Okay.
to really help my search engine optimization, whatever that is, by having Google reviews. Oh, well,
Yeah.
you already did it. Never mind. Right? You already did it.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to
Yeah.
others who
Yeah.
haven't done it yet. So you already did it. But so thank you for that. It was great, and I appreciate it. So again, if you're ever in the area, look me up. We'll get together.
Yeah. I'll definitely look you up. That would be great.
Thank you, Ollie. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Ollie,
Yeah.
how do I say your first name?
Allie.
Ollie.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. There was a little delay there. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's good to
Yeah.
finally meet you.
Yes, it's wonderful. So how long have you been with my lessons? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, probably I think since like 2016 maybe.
Oh, okay. So a
Yeah,
while.
2017.
So
Yeah,
8 years, something like that. Yeah, that's when I moved out to the
yeah,
farm. So we're out here on the farm now. And then that's been a while.
yeah.
Wonderful.
I started when you had it was just your YouTube channel and you had the eraser board.
The whiteboard, yes, way back. I
Yeah.
actually started in 2007 doing that. My kids were all little. In fact, some of the older videos that you hear the kids talking and crying, whatever, one of them was my son.
Yeah,
He's behind the computer right now doing the tech stuff. He's not going to be 19.
nice.
So it's been a while. Yeah, 2007. I had the
Yeah,
whiteboard and just the marker and the little cheap VHS. Remember the VHS recorders? Use
yeah,
that, and yeah, I've kind of progressed throughout. But yeah, those old videos, and they're still up there. They still work to this day, so I'll leave them. I'll leave them on there. Great.
yeah. They were,
So do you like the new way setup I have now with the
oh, yeah,
you
it's
know the
amazing. It's
the
really high
iPad
tech.
generated
Yeah,
sheets?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really high tech and nice.
So I see you
And your
have
website,
some.
yeah, your website's great, really user friendly. The archives and the library, yeah, really, yeah, it's great.
Thank you. Well, I want to talk about you, Ollie, today. First of all, I notice where are you from? Where are you calling out of?
I'm in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay, all right, New Mexico. Um, we visit Red River once in a while, but that's the length of
Okay.
my knowledge. The behind you, all the guitars. I want to hear about that. I see a
Yeah.
5-string banjo, some cool stuff. Tell me about your guitars there.
Yeah. So the banjo is for decoration. I still don't know how
Okay.
to play it. The the other one, the guitar, that's a 68 Gibson Barney
Oh,
Kessel Custom.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And my father-in-law is a really great guitarist, and he just had this sitting in his closet, and so he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, I guess if you twist my arm, I guess I'll take it off your hands.
Wow. Wow. My son is a
So,
guitar player. He's
yeah,
he's salivating over here.
yeah. So
Crazy.
I would say I'm an intermediate guitar player, but it's really fun playing that. I'd like to take some guitar lessons so I could put it to really good use.
Yeah. And then
Um,
you have what's next to that? That's
so
what is
that
that?
that is an instrument from Iran. It's called a setar.
Sitar. Okay.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, and
It,
it's a four-string instrument, and it's got some really cool the tones are different, the
okay.
fretting, it's like you get different notes and things. And then there's that's a ukulele a balalaika that my dad got. He visited the USSR back in the 70s.
Oh,
And it's a Soviet era balalaika, and then there's my ukulele.
and there's a uke. Oh, wow. That is
Yeah, and then
incredible.
my keyboard's usually there, but it's at my
Yeah.
band's house right now,
Thank you
rehearsing.
for
So
sharing that with us. I love your dad. Sounds like he'd be very interesting to talk about guitars. He probably can just talk and talk and talk about them. Does he make his
yeah.
own? Does he make guitars?
No, my dad, my father-in-law is the one that gave me that guitar. But he's a jazz guitarist.
Oh, okay.
My dad was a very talented singer. And he was in a pretty popular band in Phoenix in the late 60s. And so that's
Okay.
where I grew up really listening to a lot of the old music, old
Yeah.
classic music that I still enjoy listening to, and got my interest in music from him.
Good stuff. So you're a guitar player, and that's interesting to me because I have a lot of guitar players on the website that either they kind of played both growing up, or they were guitar players and they decided to go to piano. And for whatever reason, the way the
Yeah.
guitar brain works, you guys like my style on the piano, and it seems to fit you pretty well. Same for drummers. For whatever reason that is, I don't know why, but
Yeah.
have a lot of gigging people. Do you do that at all? Do you ever play anywhere?
Yeah, I'm in a classic rock band. I'm the keyboardist,
Oh, that's right.
and a lot of the songs that I learned from you, I play in the band, and some of the most popular songs. And everyone's like,
Wow.
how do you get it to sound just like the record?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you about this guy named Shawn. He's a
Yeah.
magic man."
People say that
Yeah,
they tell me that people are interested in the arrangements and everything because they want to sound like the original. That's something I
Yeah.
kind of I've always wanted to do, and that's something I kind of stick to. Is I want to sound just like the album version as much as I can, humanly possible.
Yeah.
So it's good you mentioned that. So what is the name of your band? If somebody wanted to catch your band, what would they do?
Yeah. We're called Schilling and Co. Schilling and Co. We're a local band here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Do a lot of classic rock. I play a lot of the synth for the band. So
How many are
yeah,
in it?
it's been really fun. Prior to learning from you, I'd never really performed in public because I felt like I was playing chords and stuff, but it wasn't
Yeah.
anything that was really I felt interesting. And then once I got some of your songs under my belt, I started going to open mics, and people really liked the arrangements and everything. And so then I started joining bands. So I
Wow.
just
I
really wanted
love
to
that.
thank you
I love
for
that you play.
for
Yeah, I
doing
love
what
that
you
you
do.
play and you go out and do all this because it's one thing just to play at home, which that's good enough for some people.
Yeah.
But if you can go to that next level of just playing for someone else, even if you're not great, and I'm sure you are, but even if it's not perfect, just going out and playing at a coffee bar or a wine bar,
Yeah.
something small, it adds that extra dimension. It's just so fun. It just really excites you. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, it's addictive. I remember at first when I started going to open mics, I'd be really nervous. But after a while, you get over your nerves, and it just becomes just a part of your life, and it's become a really important part of my life. Just
Yeah,
you meet some really great friends, other people who are interested in
you
music,
do.
and interacting with the crowd. It's just you get this energy that you don't get when you're playing. When
Oh
there's
yeah.
people watching you, singing along, it's an amazing feeling.
I always remember after I actually perform something somewhere, even if I didn't do that good, I would feel like when I went back to that song later that I knew it better than I ever had after having that
Yeah.
experience of just playing it for somebody. So when growing up in music, did you take traditional piano lessons, or were you just somebody who had a guitar and wanted to, fiddle around a guitar? Was there any formal training at all?
So I started in music, I started with piano lessons. And I took about 3 or 4 years of piano lessons as a kid. And so
Okay,
I can not very good, but I can read music, but it's not my thing. And so that was kind of the thing that like I hit a plateau. And then when I saw your style, just something about it, it clicks so much better with me. And I can learn it, and then it just becomes muscle memory,
awesome.
and then you don't have to just sit there and read the sheet every time you play. Um,
So you
so yeah,
had
I
you did
played that, and then I did. Yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
I
I didn't
played
want to
some
interrupt.
trumpet
There's
and
a little delay. I wanted to talk a second about and didn't want to interrupt you. I want you to keep going in a minute, but about the clicking, where it clicked for you. I'm kind of interested in that for people because I've always wondered that because I do the lessons over the internet, so I never get to see many reactions or how. I hear the success stories and everything, but what was it about it that clicked? Because you had a background in note reading, and like you say, you can do it if you have to, but it's not your favorite
yeah.
way to do it. But something about my tablature system that I invented does work for you. Can you speak to that a little bit? How did it click? What was your process there?
Yeah, I just like you said, I can kind of read, but it's not very it's difficult and it's not very fun. And
Yeah,
so I would have to force myself to sit there and read slowly and kind of, you know, uh, sound things out, and then but when you do the way you had it, it's just the way that things, you have the notes, and then the way that they're lined up, you can kind of tell how the bass and the right and the left hand,
yeah,
match together, and then watching you play it, it just the speed with which I was learning the songs was just so much greater,
yeah,
that it's just unlocked a whole new door, and I just
yeah.
kept learning and learning just and you have such great songs, your song library is amazing, and it's like songs that you actually want to play as opposed to just boring, sheet music that
Thank you,
your
Avi.
piano
Yes.
teacher gave you.
And I want to give you a little compliment here because most people have this feeling that, oh, I stink at sheet. I'm reading sheet music. I wasn't good at it. I couldn't do it. But probably what really happened, because I've done this my whole life, all right. Probably what really happened is that you have a really good ear, and from the very beginning, your ear was probably just amazing. And so whenever you were learning in the beginning with your teacher, you were memorizing and you were hearing and playing back what you remembered. and using your ear because that was your strength. And whenever we have a strength, we're going to use that. It's like somebody who's right-handed is going to use their right arm, you know. So you were using that strength, and so what happens is the sight reading suffers because it's so easy to do it with your strength. Then you're getting better, moving on, and the teacher's like, "Oh, he's reading music," and you're not. You're just really good at
Yeah.
ear and memorizing because she's not or he's not giving you the right things to actually make you a good reader, because it's actually harder to be a good reader if you have a great ear. Some of my best music readers I've ever had were not that talented musically, so that's all they could do. They had to learn to read music because that's the way they needed to do it, and they become great music readers. But the people who are the most talented sometimes musically have the most trouble reading music for that reason, because it's their strength. And the way my lessons are designed, they kind of cater to that, you know, person who's going to be using their ear and wants to hear. And really the sheet tablature that I do is not that much different than sheet music. I mean, the notes are still written vertically. You have top to bottom, and you have longer distances between, you know, note values if the long note's longer or something. So it's similar to sheet music in that way, but it's, you know, it's not. And like you said, it's faster, and it worked for you, and you were able to learn a lot more songs. So I just wanted to let you know that you didn't fail at reading
Yeah.
sheet music. It was just not your
Yeah.
strength, and you found what worked for
Yeah.
you. So I think there's nothing wrong with that, you know. So anyway, and you mentioned the song library. So when you look at all the songs that are on there, are you happy with how much I have, or the song selection? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, it just seems like basically any song I want to learn, I just look up and it's there. I mean, I'm a big fan of, unsurprisingly as a piano player, Billy Joel,
Oh yeah,
Ray Charles, Elton John. And so, I mean, you're that just those three artists, you have a lot there.
excellent. Avi, do you know why I
But yeah,
have so
I really
much?
love the song selection.
I want to ask you, do you know why the library is so good? The stuff that's in there, it's because everything that's in there was a hard request from the very beginning. It was members would request and hire me to do a particular song, and if I were just choosing everything myself, then the library would be kind of skewed, you know, one sided.
Yeah.
But everyone else chooses what they want, and it turns out that people around the world also want the same versions. So I'll have an Elton John live version, you know, that you can't find in sheet music, but
Yeah.
everybody wants to play that, and people get on there and go, "Oh, that's on there. I want to play that. I'm glad he did that." But the only reason I did is because someone like you hired me to do it, because they knew that they wanted it and they couldn't find it anywhere else. So the library is full of things you can't find anywhere else that are the actual, you know, as close to the album version as I can get. Now, you mentioned that too, which is great for a gigger, because someone who gigs doesn't want melody in the right hand and some watered down elevator music. They want the real thing. And so from the very
Yep.
beginning in 2007, when I started on YouTube, my main thing was get as close to the album as I could. Give you, if Elton John's vamping on a chord, I want to not just give you a bunch of dots on a page. I want to show you what he's doing, maybe what's going through his mind when he's vamping that chord, so that you're doing it the way he does it instead of trying to be a robot and read music notes. So
Mhm.
authenticity has been something I've really wanted to go for from the beginning. Is that important to you? Have you noticed that? I think you kind of already answered, but
Yeah, yeah. I like you said, a lot of the stuff online, it's the melodies in the right hand, and it just doesn't sound like the record. And what I really like, and what people really tend to respond to when I'm performing, is how much like the record it is. And also, a lot of the techniques I've learned from you, I can transfer over to, like, if I'm jamming people,
mm-hmm.
I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna start using that technique that I learned in that one song, vamping or whatever, and
Sure.
use it for other things. And so it's really
Yes.
expanded my skill set too, transfer it over to other things.
It carries over. Hey, Avi, I want you to give, because a lot of people are going to watch this. I want you to give them some help on what would they do. Let's say somebody is learning to play and they're putting some songs together, and they want to go gig somewhere. They want to play somewhere, but they're afraid. They don't know how to do it. Do they need another person? What would you suggest to them if they want to get into playing for other people?
I think, at least in my experience, open mics are the best place to start. Um, People there super friendly. It's kind of it's a low stakes kind of thing.
Mhm.
Some places there's even like the one in my town. It's really good. There's a backup band that plays with you. But I think, yeah, open mics are the perfect place to go. And then there's other musicians there you can meet. And, if you want to start a band, you find a bass player there and a drummer. And I recommend that.
So just by taking that first step, other doors probably
Yeah.
will open eventually. with other band
Yeah.
members and things. Yeah,
I
and
so
I
I
like
you know
those.
I'm in my 40s now,
Yeah,
and I never was in a band, and I thought that those days were behind me.
yeah,
I was never in a band in high school, and I was like, ah, it's never going to happen for me. And then I put myself out there at an open mic, and
yeah.
then you just gotta keep at it. And yeah, it just naturally happens. You know, when you're meeting a lot of musicians, people just come up with new projects that you can join. So I highly recommend just putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah, go for it. And pick something that's easy rather than trying to blow everybody out of the water. Pick something that
Yeah.
you that's familiar, that you have memorized, that's easy, just to have a good
Yeah.
experience. And I'll tell you what, Avi, if you are ever, and I'm serious about this, if you're ever around Waco, you're not that far from me, New Mexico. I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
Um, Magnolia is kind of a huge tourist spot now. If you ever come, I don't know if you're married, have family, whatever, but if you're ever around this area, look me up. It would be really cool to meet you in person, have a cup of coffee. Maybe come
Yeah.
jam here in my studio. I got a lot of instruments here. We could just play a little bit or
Yeah.
something. Wanted to start doing
That'd
that,
be
and
great.
there's so many great people around, like you, that I don't offer that to everyone, but that would be fun to play with you and just sing a little bit and I don't know, have some fun one afternoon.
Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have my
I'll make
son
a
give
put
you
that.
my phone number at the end of this in the email if you wouldn't mind not posting it online or anything. But you can text me or something or call if you ever get around here, let me know and we'll do it. So I want to get these questions because Zoom's going to cut me off here because I only have the free version. So I want to get to them, and it may feel like you're kind of repeating yourself, but if you wouldn't mind, just ask them again because the videographers need the questions here at the end.